You're supposed to be supportive of me. That's true. I'm working on it though. Over here.
You may not want to do this,
Why?
but I want, and I'm not doing it to dwell on it, but I'm doing it to help you help me.
Okay.
I want to show you some numbers
Okay.
before we start.
Okay.
Too tight.
Oh God. Another stats guy. Huh? Did you really?
I said I'm going to.
Oh, okay.
What I tracked over the last couple of years
Okay.
is by set,
Okay.
3 game set, strikes versus opens.
Okay.
Okay. So, and then what I tracked this beginning last season or a year ago
Okay.
is the same thing. But then what am I leaving and then what am I converting?
Okay.
This is this 12-week summer league that just ended.
Okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0 open games.
Okay.
Okay. 8 weeks of straight 600s, and then
Okay.
it fell off the cliff.
Okay.
Okay. But averaged 15 opens to 15 5 strikes to 5 opens.
Okay.
Okay. 60 opens total
Okay.
in 12 weeks. 18 of them single pin opens.
Okay.
All of them, except for one, were either the 4, the 7, or the 10. No
Okay.
one, I missed a 2 once.
Okay.
Okay. Now you look at 2017, 2018, 35-week season.
Mhm.
Very similar numbers: 15-2 over 5-6,
Mhm.
17-2 over 5-3 last year.
Okay.
Sorry, in the 14-week season in the winter
Okay.
this year, and then last year 16-6 over 5.5.
Okay.
It's all the same.
Okay.
Even right after I came to see you right there,
Okay.
and I switched to what we had talked about in this game
Okay.
because the 164 said forget it.
Okay.
Actually, I switched back. 164, but then I came back and I switched to it here. And I continued to do well. But then I fell off, like I've been telling you.
Okay.
Okay. But I've got to fix opens.
Right.
But part of it I know is fixing first balls because I'm leaving myself difficult stuff.
Right.
Right?
Right.
But I've also absolutely got to fix single pins.
Right.
So I just wanted to kind of set the stage there and share that
Okay.
because, and I am a numbers guy, but I don't go crazy
No.
with it.
No. No, of course not. You don't go crazy with the numbers. No. No.
Alan would love this.
Yeah, yeah, I think he would.
But that's what's happening with me, so that you know.
Okay.
Okay. If it helps, maybe it doesn't, but
No, it does. All information is helpful
right.
if you know how to decipher it.
That's what I thought. So I just wanted to spark it.
So one thing that I've noticed over the years, the for one, your spare shots, you should take as much time on your spares as your strikes,
Yeah.
and your execution has to be as clean as your strike ball. Believe it or not, where a lot of people they just try to just go at them, they throw it straight and at them. The thing of it is, you still have to get yourself set. You still have to go through your pre-shot routine, and the cleaner your execution, the more chance you're picking up your spares. So really, and now if you were to work on just your release, okay, for instance, and this is why we do it from back to the front, then the chances are your spare shooting is going to stay the same. But if you work on your execution, then what happens is you get more fluid with your approaches. You get more accurate because you're more fluid. Your spare shooting goes up because the mere fact is you're more in a rhythm when you're picking up your spares as opposed to just trying to get it done. Where most people, most amateurs just try to get it done. Your pros know what the amateurs don't, where it's just important to be fluid on your second ball as it is on your first ball. Some people are exception to the rule. Oscu, probably um, Rash, Sean Rash, people like that. But overall, most of the very good bowlers, if you look at Norm Duke, you look at Pete Weber, when they pick up their spares, you could almost not tell the difference when they're getting to the line from the first and the second ball. Okay, that's what's really important. So for you, because you're that type of bowler, you're not a Sean Rash, you're not a Wes Meyer, you're not one of those players. You're more of a smooth, you know, off the hand kind of bowler. We just want to get you more power without taking that away from you. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm not really worried about your spare shooting because I know it's going to get better. So, but yes, it that allows me to tell you that. So, just having the numbers. So, to go with that conversation we had yesterday, so it's good information. So, if you think about it, what you have to do is you have to take that information. So, you don't want to go like this. Okay. So you have to dial that back and say, okay, how am I getting to the point where when I release it, I have time to do that? Okay. So the answer is, so as you get here and your shoulders close, it takes your hand here. So if your hand is here and you are used to doing this, you're going to go over top of it. So what they're telling you to do is no matter where you go here, when you get here, you're going to force it to be like that. And for the most part, when your hand is in a good position or decent position, that's going to cause revs. The problem is that it's going to cause inconsistent revs. On a house shot, you will see, that motion. Problem is you don't see the difference between the motion because you're on a house shot. But that even on a house shot, that could run into some problems when you start depending on it. Okay. So, getting through a league, you have to do what you need to do to get it done. But if you're doing something out of the norm, you've got to get back in the bowling center and get yourself back to basics. Otherwise, this becomes this. So as you still try to do this, it's going to develop another bad habit here because you're neglecting this part of your approach. So, but he doesn't know that because he's not a coach. He's probably just learning, but everybody has, especially the good bowlers, they have this perception of what good bowling is. But that's based on their experiences.
And their calibration.
Yes. Yes. And if you look at his approach is awful. But he makes up for it at the last minute. And I'll tell him the same thing. I mean, if he wants, he's a good bowler, but if you were to compare physical games to some of my bowlers, it doesn't match up. His doesn't match up at all to some of the bowlers you've seen. So, so he can't talk about this part because he doesn't understand it. The only reason I understand it because I've looked at hours and hours. You're talking about 7 years of videos. So, but what we want to do though is make sure that when you get into your fifth step and you're sliding, you want to make sure you're not like this. You want to be more like this. Because I can't top the ball if my shoulder is back here because you will really feel it. So if I go here and if I kind of top the ball, I have to go out of my way to top it. But if I'm here, it's really easy to top the ball. So it's all about getting our shoulders in a better position when we're going into our slide. So that's what we're going to be working on. And actually, that's what we've been working on. We've been working on. So what's probably happening is your shoulders are closing early. So, and then we just have to, and we haven't worked together in a little while. So,
May 29th.
yeah, so that's probably why, because it'll sneak in there. I mean, even the best bowlers, like even Chris Barnes needs a tune-up. Even Bill O'Neill. The list goes on. I mean, Wes Malott. They all need that tune-up. They need somebody to watch them and say, okay, you better watch out for this, this, and this, and that's just what you've missing. All right, let's get a couple baseline videos.
One question on that shoulder.
Okay.
Is it, am I there because I'm not starting right?
It's there because that's what you're used to doing.
Okay.
We got you out of the habit, but because you haven't had enough balls for it to be automatic, it's going to creep back in. So just lack of games, really. Because, you were bowling well, all of a sudden you don't just all of a sudden fall off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
So, and what it does, you're still going to bowl good, but it makes it harder to bowl good. So when you're a little bit off, it's going to be awful. You're going to miss things really close. You're going to leave splits because it's going to be slightly high, or you go 4-pin high, or you leave like a 9-pin. You'll leave the whole back row. So, what I hear a lot is when they hear the whole back row, oh, I left the whole back row. That tells me there's a directional problem. So my direction is inconsistent because I'm leaving the whole back row. But if I'm leaving just 10 pins, then it's just a matter of just changing things a little bit. So that's what you got to do. If you're leaving a lot of different single pins, you've got to get your execution under control. So let's get some baseline and then we can play around with stuff. Holy sh! I told you you would bowl good here. Oh, so you had to just mess it up and shoot 270. You're very methodical. You can tell you're a techno guy, and you're a numbers guy. You can tell. Everything is so precise. I mean, even to the half board, it probably.
Who do you think my favorite athlete was and ever?
Oh,
Jerry Rice.
okay.
Because he ran precise routes.
I,
He and Bill Walsh.
no, jeez, you're killing me.
Felt really low there. Fought to stay
Yeah.
way more so than the first one.
Right. So your left arm is used for balance a lot. You use your left hand for balance a lot. You see it kind of move around a lot. That's what so you subconsciously allows you to keep your balance. Um, if you watch your left hand, you see it moves around a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and you also will see a slight acceleration right there at the bottom of the swing. That's how you maintain the speed that you're normally used to getting. And that's because your range of motion with your shoulders is very small. So it kind of comes back, whoops, and you see how your arm kind of waves around a little bit. So what happens is because your range of motion is so small, you've got to, that's why you have a tendency when you're kind of a little bit off to really kind of top the ball. See? Because you're right here. Your range of motion is with your shoulders from here to here. And when your shoulder gets there, where's your hand?
Outside.
Yeah. And so what happens is, if you hold on to a little bit long, what's going to happen? So right now you're getting out of it pretty good. But if you hold on to it, what happens? As it goes past your leg here, it's got no choice but to, because you got your hands still on the ball, you're going to go over top of it. So what he's telling you to do, which is not necessarily a bad thing under most circumstances, is you're right here. You start thinking about it's going to be. You're going to do it to want to do it here, but you're going to start thinking about it right about here. You're going to start thinking about, okay, so your hand is already in a bad position. So what you're doing is you're taking that bad position and just extending it this way. So you're forcing yourself not to come over top of it. So that's going to give you the illusion that you're really revving the ball up more. It may be hooking a little bit more, but you're not really snapping through it. You're really kind of, where if you get here and your shoulders are back, you can actually get here and kind of snap through it a little bit. You will never ever top the ball. As long as that shoulder's back when your hand's coming down, you will not. It'll feel very awkward. You almost have to go out of your way to top the ball if your shoulder is back. So what we need to do is get a little bit more range of motion and have that left hand not do all this, because it doesn't allow you to really get into a good position. It really should be, it should be, and then straight through, especially as smooth as you are. So that's a weird working piece for your game, because you're so smooth anyways. If you look at it, that's really the only piece for you that's kind of out of place. It doesn't really belong there because you're so smooth. That is the strength of your game. So if you were to cut off just your arm and just that looks really smooth, except for that. So that's what you have to really kind of straighten out and get your body in a better position. So instead of doing this, you're just going to do, so it's the same motion. Think about it. So it's a half turn. So it's like this. Okay. If I'm here and I do that half turn, I'm over the top of it.
The other hemisphere.
Yes. But if you get here, where you're more behind it, and you do the same turn, then it's here instead of here. So that's really, and that's what I see, but that's not what, your average bowlers they're not going to see that. So go ahead and do it a couple more times. Let's kind of play around with that. And that's where one-step drills are awesome, to really, really focus on that.
So now we're trying to keep it back.
Well, just bowl. We're gonna work on it. Okay. Now we'll. You felt your thumb down?
I'd love to see it because I think I did it.
That was definitely a pretty good shot. Okay.
Ball shape was okay.
Huh?
Ball shape was okay.
Yeah. But what we're going to show you is your position, your shoulder positioning is going to really, really dictate, how easy it is to get the ball to hook. So go ahead and grab your ball. So from here, if you swing it, the ball back, allow your shoulders to really kind of open up. Put your hand right here, okay? So it's here, and when you come through, see how my shoulders are open?
Yes.
Okay? You can really generate a lot of hook
Yeah.
by just, without this moving around, it locks your shoulders into a power position. So it's all about being in a power position.
You're not even swinging it for balance.
Right.
You're just keeping it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But normally what will happen is you'll get here. Once the ball gets here, then because it's one step, I can hold it there,
Right.
just so I can show you how much leverage you can get. So go ahead and try that. So swing it back, get your hand here, and then scoot back. You're going to slide into it. So swing back and then slide forward. So you see how your shoulder so what happens is you're doing this. You want to make sure you get this. Yeah, see how even during that, do that again. Look where your shoulder is. See where it is right now? You want to make sure it's, see how it's?
So that.
Yeah. It's really, really hard concept to really grasp at first.
Does it
See, think of it as,
gets lower if I'm bending my knee there, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But the thing of it is, because you're doing a one step, you try not to move your shoulders at all once it gets open. So it's, and then, so it's really, just get used to it. It's going to go in the gutter a lot. Because what happens is, because you're so used to using your shoulders, so if I keep my shoulders open, I can roll the ball over this line here. But what happens is my shoulders close, it pushes me 3 or 4 boards this way. So if I go this way, I'm actually releasing it more here instead of here. So that's why you really gotta keep your shoulders more like this and try to get it in there. So it's not gonna be 3 or 4 boards this way. You understand? Okay. So that's why yours is going in the gutter, because you're here and then you're this way instead of this way. Okay. Keep your shoulder back. Yeah. Keep going. Yeah, no, go ahead and do it. I'm just stopping Kate. There. Just like that.
But I'm doing this
Yes.
instead of this.
Right.
Oh. It's alright.
No, that's good. I think you're good. So it's what? That was what? Nice and slow, nice and slow. There you go. Do you see how much that hooks? So as long as you keep your shoulder back, you will never ever top the ball. Not unless you really, really go out of your way to.
Right.
So if you'll probably stay behind it at least 80, 90% of the time. So those are good odds. So go ahead and do that a couple more times. I just want you to feel your shoulders opening up like that. It probably feels really awkward.
Yeah.
It's going to. So you're still bowling league right now, right? Okay.
Calling up my youth adult league right now.
Okay.
My summer league's over.
Okay. So
But my league started March.
okay. So the stuff we're working on, you just bowl. Just don't think about it. What you'll find though is because you've been practicing it, it's going to sneak in little by little. So when you go there, try not to think about all those. Okay, I have to do this, this, and this. You have to rely on your training. So just go and make your adjustments. It may be a little bit awkward at first, but it'll start creeping in and it'll start to be more and more comfortable. But you don't want to overthink when you're in league play. So that's what a lot of people do. They say, well, I'm not, I couldn't do it exactly right. Well, just try to do it.
Right.
And if you don't, it's no big deal. If your scores are up like they were, who cares?
Right.
So now make sure you don't go too fast. So what's going to happen, like because you have big range of motion, you're used to going, so this here used to going like this. And from here, it's going to generate so much speed with your swing going this way. So you have to be a little bit slower. You have to be a little bit slower, a little smoother, yeah. With your arm, you got it. Because you're used to doing this, but when you're here, you can just really kind of open up and just be a little bit smoother with it. Because the smoother you are with your swing, the more rotation you're going to generate. Okay, do it again. Just remember, it's there you go. So you see how smooth it is? Because you have the bigger range of motion, you can actually go a little bit smoother with your swing. And so what happens is the ball stays on your hand longer, gives you more time to really rotate the ball. So let's take a So you see how your shoulders are opening up here. See how it's opening up more like this?
Yes.
Okay. So what it gives you more time to really kind of get here. So even though you're inside the ball, you're this way, which is what he wants you to do. So you're this way, not this way. And the thing of it is, because the backswing is up there and loose, and you're completely out of the way, it allows it to really keep its momentum through the bottom of the swing. So in essence, you're doing exactly what he wants you to do. It just, when you get to the line, you don't have to think about it. Thus makes it easier. So let's do it on a full approach. So what I want you to do is when you let the ball swing back, I want you to let your shoulders kind of open up a little bit more. Okay? So instead of this, I want you to really kind of, get it open, your shoulders open up a little more. It's going to feel really weird.
And I can have my left hand pointed down the lane.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can. But make sure get that thumb pointed down, because if you think hold your hand and go like this, you feel tension right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Now do this.
No.
Yeah. So keep your thumb down.
Even at this point.
Yeah. 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 It just gives you a little bit freer motion.
But I'm still getting low with the knees.
Yeah. Are you an engineer? Are you?
Guilty as charged.
Yeah.
Wait,
That explains it all.
To the dark side, I did go back to business school.
Right. But your roots are in. I can tell when I work with engineers. They're
Well, you could have told when I showed you the numbers.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, I was thinking I said he's an engineer, isn't he?
Alan is too, is he not? Oh, he's CS.
Yeah, he's CS.
Same thing.
My brother was an engineer, so that's what. Actually, Mark Baker talks about working with engineers.
Yeah, I remember reading
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And I say, yeah, he's got that right. That's pretty good. So the good thing is you're not losing ball speed, but you're getting a little bit, and allows your head to get on that side. So it's a better leverage position. You see here, I will say that they're a little bit tight here, so it's not going to really hook as much. But you can see where that hand still stays in it. It never doesn't have a chance to really get over the top of it. Plus, you're releasing it right there at the bottom. That's pretty good. Is that your most aggressive ball?
Yes.
Okay. That's good. Okay.
Okay. I don't. One thing that I'm. One thing that I worked with the previous coach on.
Okay.
That was a problem.
With?
Was getting to the line and bouncing back up.
Okay.
As I do this, I don't want to do that.
Correct. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Right. Well, you don't even think about your shoulder. It'll do it automatically. That's the beauty of it. Once you get yourself open, you don't think about your shoulders at all. Because once you get it open, then you have that range of motion. Then it can get down there. No problem. So don't even think about your
But I
shoulder.
can't do this.
The thing of it is, though, if you're in a good position this way, you're not going to come out.
Way off balance.
It's okay. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
See, the thing of it is, you know, they make you think about so many different things. You know, oh, you don't want to come up. The thing of it is, if you're coming in a good position and you slide in and you're smooth, all that goes away. Like I said, it's like a tablecloth with wrinkles in it. You push on the wrinkle, it's going to spread someplace else.
Right.
Pull on the edges. You work on stuff here, it's going to straighten it out over there. So how did that feel?
Good.
Yeah, I mean,
Better.
it's effortless.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And you're doing exactly what he's talking about. That ball never gets this way.
Yeah.
So.
But it's not isolated to that part of the body. That's
Exactly.
That's not the place. It's here. Not here.
Yes. You can fix it the other way, but the problem is it's going to be so muscled.
Yeah.
And I'd rather be loose so that you have room to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So remember, think smooth. Think really smooth. That'll fix all the other things that you want to fix. It's okay. So as far as your balance goes, what you have to do, so what happens is, so your weight's going to be on this side. So you've got to have a counterbalance. But if you look, yours is kind of, so you're playing shorter than you really are. So if I'm going to sit there and I'm going to get out of it this way, I've got to make sure I've got to get myself out here so I've got weight on both sides. So when I come through, I don't want to be, I want to be more, and that'll help you with your balance.
I call it, myself, I call it committing to the whole thing.
Yeah. And just make sure you let the ball roll off your hand. You no longer have to accelerate yourself at the bottom. Yeah. It'll be a little bit clunky at first, but
That felt more effortless than the one two times ago.
that was great. It really was. I mean, but it may feel a little bit clunky at first,
Yeah, it did.
you know. But the thing of it is,
But I didn't expend any energy.
exactly.
Oh my gosh, I could win 20 games.
Yeah. Until you get older, then it'll only be 15. Keep going. That's a good shot. That's a good shot. Actually, I thought that was a little smoother than your strike shot. You could probably go, because I know how these, you could probably go 2-1 right. Because you have a lot, there's a lot more, they load up the corners a little bit.
Okay.
So you can get the ball down a little bit longer.
Okay.
Obviously, if you're at Chantilly, you're going to have to probably move left. But here, you can actually go 2-1 right. The funny thing, it's about identifying what you want and then finding the most efficient way of doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, very nice. I like it.
I know on that one.
Okay. So make your adjustment.
Okay. I'll show it to you. I'll show it.
Look good off your hand though. Did you miss in? Did you miss in or
Yeah, and I'll tell you why I missed it.
why?
It's because what I'm about to show you.
Okay.
This one's easy. I'm guessing.
Okay.
But I think it's a pretty good guess. Last shot, I was here. This shot, the target was still a little off. I was here.
Okay. That makes sense. And the only reason that wasn't flush is because you had a little bit more air underneath it. See how you release it just a touch late?
So touch what?
A touch late. That's why it was in the air. The good thing is, even though you release it late, you really didn't go over the top of it like you.
Yeah. I haven't done that in the last half dozen shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because now your shoulder's in a better position. Yeah, because your trail leg was here instead of over here. So you had no, your balance was kind of weird. It was kind of, you know. It also allows your shoulder to come forward a little bit quicker. So if I'm here, it's easier to do that. But if I'm here, if you do it early, you're gonna feel it. So you just got to make sure you get your leg out there. The ball's also gonna hook more.
Am I feel like I'm doing this. I feel like I'm turning the ball. I feel like I'm starting here.
Hmm.
And I really want to end up here.
No.
But before I get to the foul line, I'm here.
Right. You don't want to end up that way.
I want to end up here.
Yeah. And you want your head's going to be further this way.
Okay.
Because if you start here, you don't want to end this way. That's old school. What you want to do is you want to end more like this so that you can get this. The further your head is this way, the more leverage you're going to get here. That is old school thinking.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I grew up old school, so I understand it completely. Oh, I was waiting for that conversation. This is the modern game.
Okay.
So much has been learned in the last 20 years.
Yeah. I got the leg behind me instead of in back of me, I should say, instead of.
Right, right. And a lot of times, because you're used to using your shoulders, see how that you're leading with your shoulder instead of the ball coming down. But that's normal. It's going to happen. So you just got to make sure when you get here, make sure the ball starts to come down first, and then, where a lot of times you're going to be more this way, you want to be more like that. Very small. It seems very small, but it makes a huge difference in leverage. You also get the ball off your hand a little bit quicker doing it that way, where that one right there you saw got up in the air a little bit. And you see right there it just got up in the air. The thing of it is, as you get it to release here, you're going to have more of that snappy motion that everybody talks about. Your ball's going to rotate a lot more. It's not even, it's probably going to go up by 50. That's a significant change. Yeah. Without trying.
Well, that's going to change my lineup.
Just make your adjustments a little bit, but, you know, I'd rather have that than strikes, you know. So maybe 2 or 3 boards left.
Sure.
Yeah, because you're going to be smooth, so you're still going to project the ball down lane.
Yeah.
So it's not going to, you're not going to have to go like 7 boards left.
Yeah.
It may be 2 or 3 at the very most.
Yeah.
So, and you'll be able to get in quicker than everybody else because the good thing about your game is you're smooth. See, a lot of people who have power, they're not smooth. So when they go in, they've got to go in big. Where you, because you're smooth, you can actually go in, you know, 2-1 or 4-2 or even 3-2. Where all the power bowlers are going to have to go like 7 left in one thing. You're going to be able to make those small adjustments because you're a little bit smoother. I can see the wheels turning. So just start your release behind your cap. Start your release back here so that it happens here. Right now it starts here and then you kind of go up here. So just kind of ramp it up here where when you get here just kind of start and then just kind of snap through the bottom. That'll make sure the ball doesn't hook too early.
Okay.
How'd that feel?
It felt better. I didn't like the shape.
Yeah. That's because you just need to. So when you slide in, just kind of open your hips up just a touch. So it's like a camera tripod. So what you have now, your shoulders are now in a good position, but it's in a good position for throwing straight up and down the lane. So now, if I want to go this way, you still keep it in front of you. You just kind of open, because 2 degrees here is going to be almost double that down lane. So you understand that. So just slightly, as you slide in, slightly open up your hips and keep that ball in front of you. It's going to go left or right. You couldn't do that before. Now you can, because your shoulder is back.
It's hard. It's two things.
Oh, I know. Like I said, you know, you just constantly think about it. If you don't do it, you don't do it. Who cares? On this one, try to do more of this. Just try to get here and just try to push that thumb forward instead of doing this. Just try to do that. That'll let the ball get off your thumb a little bit quicker. Yeah. Because you really don't need this. It's just a matter of just.
Yeah.
Mm, just a combination of that.
Huh?
You just got to get used to it.
Yeah.
So that one was probably like this, and it's just going to be a little bit slightly different. But that was still a step in the right direction, though. See how fast it got off your thumb?
Yeah.
A lot of people they actually bounce it first. But what do you say? You got to walk before you can run. Oh, there you go.
Better.
Yeah. Now you have to get in, so you can get it more this way.
It's still going straight though. There was one maybe 5 or 6 ago that I loved the shape.
Yeah. That's right. You just got to make sure that when you get here, you're facing where you want to throw it.
Yeah.
So right now you're facing this way, trying to throw it this way. And it's just not going to work. Just because your shoulder positioning is not going to allow you to really go like that. So you want to get in here and just kind of. It's also a matter of, sliding and waiting for the ball to get there. That'll allow you to go this way. If you pull it down, the ball's not going to go left or right. It will not. So you have to be more patient. So the big thing you're going to fight now is going to be this. So I want you to see your shoulder. It's going to go like this, and it's going to go. So that shoulder's getting there before your ball. That's also keeping the ball from going this way. You can see right. See how? So the shoulder actually comes in around your head, and this is normal. Okay. So you get here. Right now you're in a really good position. That shoulder's in behind your head.
Yep.
When it comes down, you'll see the shoulder. So now it's behind the head, but you can see it all of a sudden just leaks to the right. And so if you were to keep it here, that ball is actually going to get more here, but because your shoulder is leaking around. So if you let go of the ball, that's the angle you're going to keep. Okay. But as the shoulder leaks around,
Does that.
so just a matter of just being able to keep that ball in tight so you can go left or right and release it early enough. So also there's two things that can happen. If your shoulder gets around too quick, it does that. Also, if you release it too late, as you release it, this is more the bottom of the swing. As you release it more here, then your hand is going to be more like this. So it's almost like taking it and just kind of going like that. So I would just, it's going to come in time. Just be smoother, wait for it. Let your slide leg get out in front of you, and then let the ball get off your hand. As soon as you do it once, you'll say, oh, okay. Because right now you don't know what it's supposed to feel like.
Yeah. What is it?
220? 230? 225? 285?
Yes, sir.
180, 31.
Okay.
220, 221, whatever it takes. I'm just messing with Shane. I said 220, 221, whatever it takes. If you're a little bit older, you would understand where that comes from. That's awful. You suck. Well, if you throw it better, you'd be all right. It's my best two-hander. He throws it really good. He bowls at Lindenwood. Lindenwood University he bowls for. He's put in a lot of work this year.
Would I do better? I guess I would do better to keep doing the one step.
No, just keep doing what you're doing.
No, I mean on my own.
Oh yeah. Well, do the one step at first, and then see what you do is you do one step to get used to the feeling, and then you do full approaches.
Yeah.
And just keep on working on it because it's going to take a lot of wrong throws until you get the right one.
Yeah.
But you have to do it. You have to get those wrong throws in.
Right.
So
Right.
I know as an engineer you want numbers, but the numbers aren't. It's not cut and dry.
They're not going to start the league a month late for me.
Yeah. You can ask them. You can
Right.
ask them, but
I propose a vote.
yeah. Just say, hey, I propose that you let me start a month later. Just let me postpone. I don't think that's gonna work. What the heck is that? Is that a house ball? What ball is that? Oh, okay.
That one felt a lot better.
Nah, that was pretty good.
That one felt a lot
Like I said, just get used to that, and we can work with that. Because
Look
as
at the leg is, look at the shape.
yeah, and when you used to this, then you're going to be able to feed it further right. So that was still a little bit right. So
Yeah.
that's still like that right there. You could do in leaf play,
Yeah.
and you're still not as smooth as you're going to be. So the smoother you are, the more the ball's going to start really snapping, but snapping down lane.
Yeah.
So
But I mean, it's weird because
feeling,
I'm taking up a different part of the air.
yeah, yeah. It's a whole different way of
like,
doing.
is this right? And then the results are like, yeah, it's right.
You're going through what a lot of people go through, because you know, nobody really does this. It's like I said, it's all off Mark Baker's theories
Yeah.
and stuff. So, and also Joe Slowinski. There's a group called Drop Your Damn Shoulder. It's off of that also. So don't get cocky. Don't get cocky. No, that one looked good. I actually like that one a little bit. I think that you could probably start going left with your feet a little bit because this 2-1. I would go 2-1 and keep the nice smooth. Because the thing of it is, as your swing speed gets slower, the ball stays on your hand longer. You have more time to really do that. That's really what we're trying to do. That we're giving you more time to get the ball off your hand clean. Alan will probably listen to this video, by the way. He has a vested interest in yours.
Okay.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, Alan. Watch this, Alan.
Ah.
I tugged that.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, a lot of times you tug it because you're here and you're just you're still getting used to this. So you're gonna do it every once in a while. Yeah, anyone? Yeah, just make friends. Yeah, just make friends with everybody. Just try to this time try to when you throw the ball, make sure you're facing the 10 pin, just for kicks. There you go. And now just move it in. So now face up to the 6 pin, so that you're still getting the ball going left or right. It's different for different people. When you really start hitting the ball, you're going to have to face up toward the 10 pin. I'd rather just be the 6 pin because that means you're really kind of keeping the ball in front of you and rotating it. But reality is you're probably going to really start snapping through a little bit harder, so that ball's going to need some room. So. How was that? It's okay. The shape will come in time. The shape will come in time. So, it's all about body position. So I don't know if you've seen I have a new student. His name is Isaiah Cranfield. Look at some of his videos. He's a little bit taller, but his body shape is like yours. So, you'll be able to see some of the things that you're able to do. So you can see right now your shoulders haven't quite bought into it yet. So you see how it kind of. But the thing of it is, as it starts to get used to it, then it's going to start delaying. It's going to start hanging out there with the ball coming down. Then you're going to start to see the shape that you want to see. Okay. The thing of it is, right now, the way it's how smooth it's coming off your hand, it's controllable. It's just a matter of getting used to it. Just keep that swing speed nice and smooth.
Okay. I'm still not getting it out.
Yeah, that's because you're not really facing.
Still facing more, still more square.
Yeah, yeah. But like I said, it'll come. See how everything kind of as the ball gets down there, you see how everything. So just really kind of in your backswing when you get here, see if you can just let it drop a little bit more. Don't pull it down. Just if you get here, just let it drop. And what that do, it'll get your ball swinging down before the shoulder closes. So it'll be instead of this, it'll be more. Okay, so yeah, yeah. Now, so what you can do. So you see where you are right there, right?
Yeah.
So you see how your head is still on, really in line with your hip, but at the end,
It's way over.
right. So what you want to do, I think, is you want to get yourself. So this is the imaginary line.
Yeah.
You got your hand on this side. I want you to get here and then get over it. Okay. So you see how my head is on this side. So my hips are actually like this. Okay. But my feet are still going to be pointing that way. So I line up my feet the way I do. Okay, I have my arm here beside me. Then I kind of get my hips this way and my head over this way. So it gets this way and then pushes my hips this way. Okay, and then when I go, I keep my feet on this side and I keep my swing on this side. The only way you can do it is keep your head over on this side. So at start, instead of here, where I'm just kind of leaning over a little bit, okay, just to get used to it. So we're getting in the position that you're already going to get into quicker. Yep. Yep. Yeah. And then
Instead of like this.
yeah. And then get your hand beside you, and then get your head over the ball this way. Yeah, like that. And just get your yeah. There you go.
Art doesn't like to see the ball from behind.
Huh? So?
Okay. All right. But I'm a thin guy.
No, I know. I was like, you're a thin guy, so you know.
Mark isn't a thin guy.
Yeah. Neither am I. So I'm like. So you see how it allows you to really go more that way with it. Huh? Not really. Not yet. See, you have to build it.
Yeah.
So do that again. Oh, that's that's a different shape. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
That's not a line drive.
Did you bang it off your ankle on that one?
No.
No, okay. I was like, please tell me you didn't bang it off your ankle. I've had people do that. Then they're done. They're
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm done. It's like, yeah, I understand as you whack your ankle.
Better shape. Look at my hand.
Huh?
I felt
Not any
it. Yeah,
different.
my hand topped that one.
Not really. Not any more so than anything else. It's still,
Okay.
it's still.
The shape a lot better.
Yeah. It's because look where you're actually getting it off your hand. Right there.
Yeah.
So
Doesn't
you,
make it all the way back, but a lot better.
yeah, but you can move your feet right. They're a little bit tighter here than. Yeah. So move your feet one right. See, the thing of it is, it's a process. You have to really work the process. You can't really pick and choose, in different points of the process because it's all accumulative.
Yeah.
So, you know, at some point you have to really kind of trust the process, of direction it's going. You're going to see glimpses, but it's not going to get set there for a couple months. Yeah. It's a lot better. So you're just getting glimpses of how things could be.
Yeah.
Just like that row of 600s. Well, just a glimpse of how things could be, if you keep working on it.
Yeah.
So this right here is how you're normally going to throw the ball. You just don't right now. But you see how smooth everything is?
Yes.
That's because you had enough wrong throws so your body knows what the right throw feels like. So I would say you just have to trust the process. Everybody has their own process. Some of them are more limited than others. So you have to find one that works for you and just have to keep going with it.
Yeah.
And just don't try to implement too many, you you can't jump around, for, work on this, somebody work on this, somebody work on this. Because at some point in time, they're gonna cross.
Yeah.
And you're gonna end up undoing somebody else's thing. You need to find which one works best for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
What? I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Feels amazing.
No, it's really good. Really good.
That motion
That's what we've been trying to get all summer.
Now this one,
Just get out early.
yeah, but I like the way it felt when it rolled off the hand.
Oh yeah.
This one rolled. Keyword is roll,
Oh yeah.
right? Not just like
Oh yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Right? I rolled it off.
Look at the swing speed. It's perfect. Where remember the other ones I said you saw a slight acceleration?
Yeah.
Your body's now getting used to your shoulders being in that other position. And by getting your head into the position earlier, it allows your swing to be a little freer. That's a good shot. Let me mark that one. I gotta mark that one. That was a good one. So the last two shots, that feeling is what we've been trying to get from beginning of today.
Okay.
So that's what I was saying. It's a process, you know, and it's not a do one thing and all of a sudden it feels good.
Right.
Sometimes it's 4 or 5 things
Yeah.
to get there.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people don't realize.
Well, to the point of our discussion yesterday, this this one, between this one and the next one,
Yeah.
a lot harder for me.
Oh yeah.
Those first 4 things we worked on,
Mhm.
those were so easy.
Yeah. But we couldn't do what we did today without those
Without-
first three.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So now oh yeah. What I was about to say, you are now seeing more ball motion
Yes.
that you weren't seeing before.
Yes. Yes.
Because now your shoulder is staying back, and you're allowing the ball just to get there on its own. So eventually we'll get to the point where if you to get more ball speed, you're just going to drive with your legs more, but you're going to keep your swing speed just going to see the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one you see your swing increase just a little bit, so that's okay.
Yeah.
You're still seeing motion though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And actually, it didn't get off your hand that bad. But you see the slight acceleration. So if you look at
It's a little bit helping.
that's the only difference. That's the weird part is that the ball still rolled off your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get one or two more good ones.
Okay.
I really like that one. I actually kind of like that one, to be honest with you.
Then well, okay. What I don't like doing is starting with the gutter. But
Yeah.
shape is okay.
Yeah. It just got in the air a little bit.
I think it's tall at the end, Brian. What do you think?
No.
I've been bored. No?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Because you have long arms. Especially when some of the other ones, they got off your hand fine.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you can't make your judgment off one. But I really like the way it looks. You look relaxed,
Yeah.
and getting the ball off your hand. Even though that one was, not as good as the other ones. And that one, if you look at it, got off your hand a little bit later. So if you look at this one, then you look at
Yeah.
and then the one before that, I think this one hooked a lot. But you can see they're almost identical though. See how you got it on the lane a little bit quicker?
Yeah.
Yeah. But as far as like hand motion, they're almost identical.
Yeah.
That's the part that I look at. I don't really look at all the other stuff. Okay. Do it again. Nice and smooth. We just need one more really good one. I actually kind of like that one. If it were me, I'd probably see. I like that area of the lane here. So what I would probably do is I would just try to get it in that zone and just try to, you know, maybe kind of get my feet one right. But I like the way it got off your hand, and you can see the ball laying up like this, so it's going to really kind of jump that way. It just had to make such a big move to get to the pocket, you know, that it's just not going to get through the pocket. But as far as execution goes, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, not quite as good as let's see, one that I like here. So if you look at that, the one we were looking at had more angle to the outside.
Yeah.
This one got to the same zone, but the angle was less extreme.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in essence, it was still two great shots.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's get one more really good one, and then you're done.
Okay.
Patrick, I'm gonna get him in first, and then I'll get you, because he just got done working. But you want me to get him too, or okay?
Now played more down in there.
Yeah. Like I said, now it's just a matter of getting used to this. Yeah. Like I said, all your good shots just a glimpse of what's going to happen once you get used to it. I said you got to look beyond the strike. Huh? Yeah, the two-hander first because he worked this morning, so I want to get him through before he gets tired.
I knew that was gonna jump because I knew fingers.
Because what?
I felt the fingers.
Yeah. But what you're going to notice is now you're like that.
Yeah.
So the other one, to really get over the top of the ball, if you're coming like this, it's really hard to do.
Yeah.
You have to be going more like that. By you just being sliding in and being off your hand, you go longer. You're not going to go over the top of the ball. So, you want to get one more in, or okay? Mac, you're next. No, I don't think so. Not the way you're throwing it.
Before you get to me, you must eat that burger.
I know. What?
I liked it. I just wanted to go like this ever. That's fine.
That was.
The shape's awesome.
Yeah, no, that was really good. That's one a good one to quit on.
That's what I was gonna say. That's when I go home.
That was really good. Wow, that's something.